Welcome to the Roger Report Live on the entertainment side, and I've watched the movie Bride Hard. And this movie is a comedy, but has some action in it, so it's kind of like a action comedy type situation. But I'm gonna go with I'm gonna list it under a comedy movie. I must say, didn't expect it, didn't know what I was walking into, y'all. I tried to avoid a lot of previews. You can't always do that, but I try to avoid a lot of previews. So I didn't know what I was walking into. But when I walked into it, I was kind of happy. I was kind of happy. This was a good showing. This was a movie starring Rebel Wilson as the main character, where she was the friend of a bride played by Anna Camp that was getting married, and they hadn't talked to each other in a long time. Now, they grew up as kids together, and that happens. You grow up as kids. Somebody, you have a life together. You might go to grammar school together, maybe even high school together, even sometimes go to college together. But eventually, sometimes friendships break up just because of distance, life, and things like that. And this is one of these type of situations where one person became one way and another person became another way. And the ways that they became different were just kind of very different. But they still liked each other, kicked it with each other. But one friend had moved on and her life took a totally different direction. But the other friend was unaware. So Rebel Wilson played the friend Sam, who became kind of a secret agent. Okay. And she picked up a whole new lifestyle that did not include her childhood friends, which is understandable for somebody who becomes a secret agent. So she's off doing a risk, fighting the world's fight, trying to make sure things don't get into the wrong hands, doing things that secret agents would have to do. While you have one friend who just grows up, normal lifestyle for the most part, but come from a wealthy background, or she's definitely married into wealth. So I'm not going to say come from a wealthy background, but was marrying into wealth. So a little bit more of a normal life. Now she's about to marry this very rich man, come from this powerful family. And things go a little haywire because for some reason, certain people of this family, and then when you, of course, when you have a wedding, you have friends come over, people who are like family to you, plus your other family. So now you got different wealthy people all together at the same time. And, they have interests, they have things that a lot of us wouldn't necessarily have, like vaults filled with gold and other opportunities and secret information and things like that. So we have a criminal played by Stephen Dorff who decided this would be a great time to rob these people, because why not at a wedding? You got these different family members together. They, this is a different level of access to wealth and power, especially for someone who's not involved in wealth and power. And of course, they needed certain things to get access to other things. So you need certain people, retina scans and whatnot, certain pieces of equipment that only they would have. But now you got them all together in the same place because somebody's getting married. Brilliant plan to come up with to, get certain things from certain people. And this is a story about how the old friend Sam comes around, does not quite make a good impression with the newer she doesn't make a good impression with the other friends that the bride knows from her more regular mundane life and meeting this rich guy. So she's just transitioned from a world of a regular person going to date somebody who's super rich. So she has friends of that world. So not like the world Sam comes from, and did not make a great first impression because Sam was the maid of honor. And because of how things went, it ended up that the maid of honor was that honor of being the maid of honor was taken away because she had to dip out, And you know what? I guess if your friend is a secret agent, there will be times when you may have to dip out here and there. So she had to go do some quote unquote world saving stuff. We'll just say it like that. She had to go do some world saving stuff. But when you do that, on the Bachelor, they're having a bachelorette party and she got to dip out. People start questioning her. What's her background? What do we know about her? How close of a friend is she really? People start second guessing her and her friendship. And then, women get jealous about stuff. So, of course, older women want to question this relationship you got with this. Well, excuse me, the newer friends want to question the relationship you have with the older friend that you don't talk to on a regular basis anymore. So things can happen. But now that you have rich and powerful people getting together, and it just so happened that a big old heist is planned, it's kind of good to have a secret agent around. So they made a movie with a great story based on these facts. Now, the movie was good. The movie was kind of playful. You had some action in there. Guys like myself, we like some action in there. So they put enough of that in there. There were some pretty good jokes going around in the different areas of the film. Some jokes that were just flat out, and then some jokes that were more subtle when you think about it. But it was a good time. Now it was a pretty good comedy for the year. I haven't watched a whole lot of comedies this year, but this was a good solid comedy. So this is not something that you're going to be disappointed for picking out to go watch. You'll be satisfied with your choice. I doubt anyone will go to this particular movie and just don't like the movie itself. Good storyline, the way they pulled off the heist. The action scenes wasn't too far out. They were just so unbelievable, because you gotta have this woman who is in the starring role of the film, and she is taking on these men, disarming folks and things like that. But they made it believable for the most part, so that was pretty good. And the cast of characters that were being built around these two friends getting together while one is getting married. It was some hilarious characters in this particular film. And he even had one chick who's a pretty big black lady. Now, I just took it as a joke. They had a reverend with a collar on. So you would think that's going to be a person that is maybe not having sex. I don't know. But they say he was Protestant. I don't know if, they was cracking a joke about he was being Protestant, or they thought he was Catholic, then they thought he was Protestant. I don't know what all that would mean. But of course, he had this deep yearning for the big old black woman who happened to be one of the bridesmaids as well. So I think they kind of play that as a joke too. And when the time came, even the Reverend had to tough it up a little bit. So I think it was a pretty good comedy. Again, I don't think nobody's going to be upset or mad because they saw this particular film. So I say it's pretty much good to go on that note. So well, I'm gonna put this one with I guess this would fit a romance comedy, I guess. But no, I ain't gonna say that. No, I'm just gonna just put it with comedies in general, which I haven't really did a lot of comedies just pure this year. So right now it's the only comedy I'm looking at. So of course, in the comedy spot, it's gonna take the top spot because it's the only comedy I'm looking at right at the moment, except for the fact that you know what? Yeah, this is the only one I'm thinking of at the moment. So I'm just gonna go with this, and it's just gonna be the top for now. But I am going back to get all the other things that I saw this year that I wasn't able to put on this channel, and I'll be putting my rankings out with those as well. So it was a good movie. I'm sure folks will enjoy it. It's a good time at the theater, and I will see y'all next time around. I'm Roger. I'm right, and I'm out.